All right, everybody, welcome back. We are jumping into another deep dive. And today we are talking about Lewis Howes
Oh, yeah.
and his podcast, The School of Greatness.
Very, very cool podcast.
Yeah, and you guys sent in so much good stuff. I mean, tons of articles about Lewis Howes, tons of background on his podcast. And, we're going to try to figure out what makes this podcast tick, what makes it so successful.
Yeah.
And maybe take away some things for ourselves.
For sure. For sure.
How can we achieve greatness?
Yeah, find our own path to greatness.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're talking about like a former athlete turned podcasting empire.
Right.
The role of vulnerability in interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, even a connection to Kobe Bryant. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what really jumps out at you from all this stuff we got?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that, Lewis Howes really uses his personal journey as like the foundation for the whole podcast.
Yeah.
He's not just like some motivational speaker.
Like talking head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's been there. You know what I mean?
He has got the experience.
Yeah, he went from pro athlete
Mm-hmm.
to, almost career-ending setbacks, and then completely reinvented himself as this like motivational powerhouse.
Yeah.
But I think that resonates with people.
Totally. I mean, you hit on something right there that it's like the classic hero's journey,
Yeah, exactly.
And we love to see that.
That overcoming adversity.
Yeah, we love to see someone come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah.
Makes us feel like, oh, maybe I could achieve some greatness too.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not just about overcoming obstacles. It's like redefining success. Like his podcast isn't just about, being rich and famous. It's like all these different paths to like personal fulfillment, and I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. And it's reflected in his guests, right?
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
yeah,
he's got huge names like Kobe Bryant, but also
entrepreneurs, authors, mindfulness experts. I mean,
everyday people doing extraordinary things.
Right.
It's so cool. And I think that is part of the appeal. You get this range of perspectives. You get to see all these different ways that people can be successful.
Yeah, it broadens your understanding of like what's even possible.
Totally. And, one thing I noticed as I was reading these articles, his interview style.
Yeah.
He gets people to open up, and it feels so genuine.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm curious, like, what do you think is the secret there?
Well, I think it's a couple things. First of all, he's not afraid to be vulnerable himself,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he shares his own struggles, his own insecurities, and I think that makes people feel comfortable.
Like a safe space.
Exactly. And then he asks really insightful questions,
Not just the surface level stuff.
No, not like, tell me about your biggest success.
Yeah.
He goes deeper. He's asking about their motivations, their doubts, the failures that like shaped them.
Just like the whole journey.
Exactly. And that's what people connect with.
Yeah, for sure. I think you nailed it. It's like he's willing to go beyond just the surface level and get into the messiness of being human.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the success. It's about how they got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you're witnessing growth and self-discovery. It's not just a highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that makes it so much more relatable for everybody listening.
Oh, for sure. Because it's like you're a fly on the wall for like a conversation between friends.
Well, I like that.
And these are like high achievers, but they're being so open and vulnerable. And it's like, oh, wow, if they can do that, maybe I can too.
Totally. Okay, so we've talked a lot about Lewis Howes and the School of Greatness.
Yeah.
What are some of the big takeaways, for all of us listening? What can we learn from this?
Well, I think a couple things stand out. One is that no matter what setbacks you face, you can always reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Lewis Howes is a perfect example of that.
Love that.
And then also, defining success on your own terms. Like the podcast, it showcases all these different paths to greatness, so you don't have to follow the traditional mold. And then finally, I think the biggest thing is like the power of vulnerability.
Okay.
Being open and honest about your struggles can actually be really inspiring and create these genuine connections with people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's so inspiring to think about.
Yeah.
We can all tap into that School of Greatness mindset, however we define success,
For sure.
So I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
If you could interview anyone for your own School of Greatness,
who
would it be?
Yeah.
And why?
That's a good one.
What questions would you ask them to uncover their path to success?
That's something to think about for sure.
I know, right? And who knows? Maybe you'll be the one inspiring others someday.
Yeah, you never know.
All right, guys, that is it for today's deep dive. We will see you next time.
See ya.